Aloha, soul family. Welcome to our end of days, and that's DAZE. I know it's been a long minute since I made a recording. I'll just kind of try to go over what I've been going through. Being back on the streets is something else, you guys, especially when it becomes a choice. And that's one of the primary things that I have been realizing. You can see that I'm in a room right now, and while out on the streets, there was someone from the congregation that I have been attending to that offered me a room to stay temporarily. And there's something that I want to talk about, which is related to this, because I've had the time to be able to really be in meditation and prayer to get in touch with what is important to me. And it's something that I am going to try to communicate here in words. It's something that I've kind of already known for a long time, but it's not always very easy for me to put it into words, and I'm not trying to explain myself. I want to be very clear about that. If anything, what I'm doing is just expressing kind of how I feel about certain things and seeing what I see as a solution based upon my own perspective and what I'm experiencing and going through. And I feel good about it, you guys. Like, it's the best way for me to put it. And it's a little bit of an experiment, but also it's something that I know that God has put in my heart because it's important to me. And I feel like it's important to us, like as a collective, as humanity, as soul family, like especially as soul family. And it's going to help the rest of the world too. Now, I know everybody has different talents, abilities, and everything, and I'm no different. If anything, I'm just this normal dude, cruising around the world, maybe more limited style, but just bumping into other people in the world, I guess is the best way to say it. And it's it is what it is, you guys, and I think my soul family can really understand this, where we are, I think, what society would deem as neurotypical. I mean, neurodivergent. Now, and maybe that's even a slip because, right, in confirmation there, I don't feel like I'm divergent, you guys. Like, if anything, I feel like I am the most normal, cookie cutter, average Joe in the universe. There's nothing special about me, like, at all. I don't have special. I'm a little bit. I've done a lot of different things. I've had many different jobs. I can learn things fairly quickly, but then it's just like I don't really have any real specific talents. I mean, so just a super average dude, like, is the best way to put it. There's certain things I nerd out on that I like to research or participate in, but I'm super average, if anything, and that's almost why I feel at odds with the rest of the world, is because I am so average, and I see that it. To me, the world has been flipped upside down, where the unaverage has been made average, and the average has been made unaverage. I think I said that right. Who knows? All right, we're gonna keep rolling anyway. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Where things have been flipped upside down, and so it puts me in a very interesting position. Now I'm going to just kind of cut into it, like, about what I really wanted to talk about here. I know that was quite the setup, but it's just like being homeless is something else, you guys. And in many real ways, I feel closer to the reality of how things are while I'm homeless. And I also maybe want to put an asterisk there and call it something different. Not even houseless, not even homeless, but it's we're just determining a label so that I can communicate the concept to you. I'm not staying in a house. All right, I'm if anything, I have done my best to reject the society that I see is perpetuating pain, misery, selfishness, crime, criminality. I mean, it goes on and on and on, but it's just like the system that we're living in cannot be sustained. All right. And if anything, it goes through systems of collapse, and it seems to almost be intentional. And so I want to exist outside of those cycles. I want to exist outside of those cycles of, the highs and the lows, the booms and the busts. And I believe it's possible. I believe it's more than possible. And the biggest thing that I have seen is that we are capable of it. All right, we are all capable of it. When people look at the system and then they say to participate in the system in order to change the system, we're just validating the system. All right, all we're doing is propping up the very thing which is enslaving us. All right, and I can speak with authority on this. All right, I'm in a process of doing it continually. All right, I'll only talk about the stuff on YouTube which is G-rated, friendly. But I've quit habits. All right, I've done things, and I'm still in the process of continuing to cleanse myself and continuing to let go of attachments that no longer serve me. At the same time, I understand I'm not perfect. All right, and I think it's very important that we, as a people, understand that as well. It's okay to have those habits. All right, while they serve us, and the moment that we come in recognition that they are no longer serving us, let's try to let it go. All right, let's even more than try to let it go. Let's let it go. All right. So one of the big things that has been in my life has been coffee. All right, coffee's been a huge thing. All right, it's legal. It helps pick me up. It makes the day go by in a way where I feel like I'm able to do it. And the last days that I was drinking coffee, I was just pounding it down because I knew I was going to quit. I already knew I was going to quit. And so I just quit cold turkey. And it took more than a week, you guys, if I'm being honest. But it's just like, it was like a week where my nervous system had to recalibrate and get off coffee. All right, I had deep headaches. All right, I would get tired really quickly. And my nervous system was recalibrating. I know it was. And the reason that I let it go was because I could see that nothing would change. And this is also the stance that I'm taking here, where it's just like I haven't recorded in this room at all. I've only stayed here a very short time. But me even staying here in this room is, I feel like, feeding the addiction, if anything. And it also misconstrues me. All right, like in a very real way. I will work and I will find jobs that I feel like are in alignment with my soul. But also, if I can continue to operate in a way where it is in denial of the system as it is, and it's not systems in general, like, because this is also what I want to really emphasize here. I love how things are. I love how things work. I love the truth. All right, the truth exists no matter if we recognize it or not. That is beautiful, you guys. Why wouldn't we want to build our foundation of reality, our perceptual reality on anything different than the truth? Because it is what it is, all right? It's there when I look. It's there if I don't look, all right? So that's the beauty of building a foundation upon the truth, is that it's stable. It's very stable. And so our society, that I see, the greater society, because I'm currently living on the Hawaii Islands, currently Oahu, but it's still part of the United States. And so in a very real way, I can still talk about it. It's still a lot different, all right? If people are from the mainland, it is different here than being on the mainland. I'm going to say that right off the bat. With that said, though, the society here is very connected and reflective of the United States in general. If anything, there's a little bit more of the spirit here is not quite tamed as it is on the mainland, because what I experienced on the mainland from my time there, from majority of my life, is that people tend to be more, and I want to be polite. I want to say the word brainwashed. Like, people are more surrendered to the system, where it's just kind of like, yeah, this is how things are. I better just go do it. However, with a caveat there, I've also met people through different various jobs from many different countries. And the ones that I interacted with had a similar mindset. They had a more worldly perspective because of where they came from and everything. But their mindset was very similar to what I have seen on the mainland too, where, all right, things are just this way, so we just got to accept it. We just got to get in line. And so I guess I'm just not that way. Like, is the easiest way to say it. I will get in line with the truth. But when people and systems and things present themselves as the truth, nah, come on, man. Come on. Like, I know what you're getting at. I know what you're doing. All right. You know, you can't pull one on me. All right. That's the whole issue that I see. And that even if you're able to pull that crap on other people, you can't pull it on me. Okay. And so this is why I've wanted to conduct myself in a very particular way, is because how do I be an example of this truth? All right. What God has given me. How do I be the best example that I can be, knowing what I know? Because the system is corrupt. All right. I just got finished watching a video. I wish I could remember the name of the YouTuber, because I would give him a shout out here. But it's Ben something. All right. And he was talking about how billionaires are evil. And I was like, yeah, it absolutely is true. Now, that will get people, like people will jump to defend that point of view that billionaires are not evil. All right. Which I think is absolutely crazy, you guys. Numbers wise, all right, let's just look into the numbers. All right. Like 1 million seconds is something like 12 days. But 1 billion seconds is like 36 something years, you guys. Do you see the disparaging difference in that number? All right. So when we're talking about wealth, when we're talking about actual, like, physical monetary wealth, the disparaging amount is ridiculous. Oh my God, it's ridiculous, you guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. When you see how many people are in poverty, in stricken poverty, which I have existed in, which I have seen other people exist in even more so than me, all right? It is, and then you see people who have the capability of paying, for basically everybody's lifestyle by themselves, all right? Now, I'm not asking for them to do that, all right? To me, this is more about the mindset. This is more than what we're seeing on a world scale, all right? Because the truth is that the people who are billionaires are probably beyond hope. All right, they're going to be the examples in our lives that's what we do not aim for. That's what we know what not works. All right, not to listen to. All right, maybe there's redemption possible for them. That's not up to me to decide, though. The truth is, though, most people who are of a good heart will not become billionaires because of the disparity and the difference that it creates. In order to have that much money over other people, over your fellow man, that requires you to take advantage of them. That requires you to exploit them, to coerce them. You need to convince them that they are less than, all right, in order to have that kind of dynamic. And this is also my whole premise with this thing too. Yes, the monetary wealth, I get it. In so much as, okay, let me just jump into what I really want to talk about. Everything's a construct, all right, especially with how we run society. What is the difference between a billionaire and some homeless guy on the streets, all right? I'm about to tell you nothing, all right? The only thing which is different is that agreement that makes that possible. All right. It's the agreement that, oh yes, you have more than me, or I'm worthless and you are worthwhile. All right. But this disparity, all right, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for all of us. It doesn't work for one of us. It doesn't work at all. If anything, it's a temporary paradigm which reflects where we're at. This this boom and bust cycle. All right. The equivalent that it is just like, it's like taking drugs, all right, and then having a crash out. All right. Where you're basically forced to dry out for a little while. Otherwise you die. All right. Otherwise you hit the reset button. All right. Because I want to be very clear here. Death is not the end. All right. Especially in this kind of context. All right. I feel like if we die an addict, we continue to be an addict until we choose something different. All right. This is what eternal life means. People misconstrue what eternal life means. All right. This is given to us in the Bible. It talks about eternal life. Eternal life is right now. It's right now. All right. It's not after my body passes away. We have eternal life right now. You guys, we have it right now. Like this is why it's so important to build into a future which is sustainable for our spirit, for our hearts, for the whole everything. Because when we build upon that sustainability, we create a world and a lifestyle which can be at ease, which can have grace, which can have all the good things in our lives, all right? But the only way to get to that point is to accept the truth, all right? I was baptized in the church, and I have qualms with the church. All right, I'm gonna be very, very honest here. I have qualms with the traditional church as it's presented because it takes out of context certain things and it misconstrues other things. And what it does is end up supporting the structure, this system, which is by all means parasitical. All right, nobody benefits from this system. Dare I say, not even the billionaires benefit from this system, okay? This is that premise which I was going to say cling to, but it's just like I hold to it, you guys. These billionaires are not, yeah, they're evil people, but they're not happy people, all right? If they're smiling, that's the smile of like Dorian Gray, all right? If you guys can catch the reference there. These are individuals who have hidden their portrait of who they really are. Like, look up Dorian Gray, you guys, for what this is. But they've hidden their portrait in the attic, all right, in a place which is out of the way. And but that portrait is the reality of who they are, all right? And they are these evil, decrepit corpses of people. All right, there's a video game that I played. I know I'm throwing out all these references here, but it's just like it's reference time, I guess. There was this video game I played called Eternal Darkness. It was on the GameCube. One of the best games that I ever played. Okay, there's a lot of games that I played, but I really like well-written narrative story games, like Legacy of Kain 2. But get back into Eternal Darkness, and I think there's stories that can point to the reference of the world, of where we exist in. And this is why I have liked video games in the past. Nowadays, they seem a little bit less... they've been taken over, just like most other systems, like most other forms of media have been taken over. There's still kernels of truth in them, so I want to give that. But hopping back on topic, there was an individual, I would say a cunning and maybe ruthless, but just very driven individual who ended up coming upon dark forces, I guess is the best way to say it. And so in exchange for power, he basically becomes a lich, like an undead being. All right. And from this game, all right, he goes on and he orchestrates, and he is the essence, the body of this dark force throughout the series, throughout time. Throughout time, he is this, it's the same guy. He takes on different faces. He takes on different illusions, all right? He seems to be a human, but he's not a human, all right? He used to be human. And this is how I see a lot of the billionaires, a lot of the systems that have been in place. They've been reinforced by the same family, All right, when people talk about the 13 ruling families, the bloodlines, all right, this is what I mean. They are the liches, all right, in a very real way. They are not living anymore. And if any of those individuals are watching, I still believe that you can return to life, but it has to be a choice, all right, and it's going to be painful because being a lich allows you to not feel pain, all right, it allows you to be undead. You can hurt other people, steal and coerce other people, and you won't feel that pain, not immediately. That's the thing, not immediately. That does catch up with you. All right. And this is why like the bodies are such a wonderful thing, you guys. It gives us feedback. All right. And what these individuals have done is they've leaned so hard into the body that they have forgotten what they are expressing in the spirit. All right. And maybe they have. I also want to take a step back. Everybody needs a good villain in a story, right? Maybe they've just really embraced their villain arc, all right? And they are going to harm and hurt other people until everybody tells them no, all right? Now, I hope if anything, I hope that's the case. That they're just really strong individuals who are here to, I don't want to say test us, but to show us we don't have to be like them. We don't have to agree with them. All right, I said this in another video that was a while ago. But if they're dark teachers, the best way to retire them is to not need their teaching anymore. All right? The best way to free them is to tell them no. All right? That's the best thing to do. All right? And if they're like an asteroid, bringing chaos and everything to us, we'll send off that asteroid, okay? They don't need to live here. They can go teach other worlds. They can go teach other beings, other things, if that's what they are so focused on doing. All right? If they're serving some God-given purpose, wonderful. Let's send them off. Hey, thanks for the education. I don't need it anymore. All right? I don't need it anymore. Sayonara. Godspeed. Get out of here. All right? Now, this is what I love about stories, all right? This is the metaphors. It's the same thing as saying aliens have taken over the government. It's the same thing as saying aliens have infiltrated all walks of society in the upper echelons, because it's the metaphor that these individuals have separated themselves from the unity of God, all right? From the unity of brotherhood, of sisterhood, of brethrenship, all right? And so I'm already at 21:53 going on. If I can try to condense this, maybe keep this under 30 minutes, because this is a long one, but it's been a while since I made anything, you guys. So I want to get this out here. I don't want to reveal too much about what I want to do. And I think that's part of the situation that I find myself into, because I know I'm being watched, all right? I know I'm being monitored. I know those things, all right? I kind of know what I'm doing, but I'm also flying, off the what is it called? The seat of I'm flying by the seat of my pants, I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. All right. Not on a humanistic level. All right. I just kind of know what step to take next. All right. And so I'm just going through those motions, but it's connecting with this behavior, this identity, this passion that I feel to be this example, all right, to exhibit this understanding of how reality works. All right, this is why I love the Tao. And I know I'm throwing a bunch of references out here this time. I guess it just was time, I guess. But just like, I've lived a big life, you guys. I've lived a long life, and I've been given wonderful circumstances and opportunities that reflected my desire to understand more. And so I picked up these books, all right? I looked into these avenues. I played these games. I read these stories. I did this. And it all points to a very similar path for me, all right? So, and just in case, I think we got privacy here, but if somebody comes in, I'm going to keep recording. I might end it abruptly, but we'll see. We'll see. I just wanted to throw that out there. because that's life, you guys. Like, geez, man, like life is full of the unexpected. All right, but the attitude, the identity that we have, we trust the unexpected. All right, when we have certainty within ourselves, when we have a relationship with the real God, all right, we know that everything is of God. All right, and so we'll see it for what it is. That's what discernment is. When we have this connection with God, we see it for what it is. If someone has a knife behind their back and they're offering one hand and they got a little crooked smile, okay, I see you for what you are. Don't handshake for you. I'm keeping my distance from you. You come at me any closer, I'm warned to do something, all right? It's the same thing, you guys. I'm given the power to do that, all right? We all are. Like, this is the amazing thing. God doesn't want us to be these pushovers, all right? Yes, have restraint. Yeah, turn the other cheek when the circumstance calls for it, all right? Don't be wrathful, revengeful, all right? At the same time, it's okay to have what people call boundaries, all right? It's okay to say no. It's okay to say step back. I was going to add to that, step back, you're going to catch it, you guys, right? And that's the beauty of, I feel like, this relationship, this working with God, is that in so many levels, especially the energetic, I don't need to do anything. All I need to do is be genuine. All I need to do is listen. All right, when I listen and I do what needs to be done, when I know what's in my heart, what God puts in my heart, okay, when I trust that that's what it is too, like this, oh gosh, like another thing that the church has done to just undermine horribly the movement in itself, the movement of reunification with God, has been to demonize the heart, all right, to such a degree. And I would even say demonizing the flesh, all right. The flesh is not to be demonized, all right. It's to be understood, all right. And if the flesh is like a child, let's guide it in the right way, you guys, all right. Let's not be guided by our base desires. Let's fulfill them in a way which is sustainable, which works toward eternal life, all right? And I'm working on myself too. I want to be very clear with that. I've done a lot of work. I've gotten a lot of progress, okay? And I have a good mindset with this, all right? And I want to be available as a teacher for other people. At the same time, I really want to stress, I'm still working on stuff, okay? If you're looking for a perfect image, good luck. All right, good luck with that, you guys. I mean, seriously. And from my opinion, if there was some image of perfection, I just wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it, because that it invalidates the very purpose of being human. All right, we cannot exist as a subjective being and be perfect. Okay, the subjectivity in itself allows and almost demands that there be, I don't want to say flaws, but it's just like incompleteness to a certain degree. All right, and I'm getting philosophical here. It almost, that crap doesn't matter, you guys. So we'll wrap it up here. I'll probably start recording more at the beaches, and I want to thank the people who have helped me get to here, who have offered kindness, like the congregation and everything. I am just stepping out of it, all right? I guess I just need some space, and I'm a little bit demanding, I guess, in some ways, and maybe it's of, and maybe it's of myself. Like I started out this video saying, in so much as I'm choosing to be homeless, all right? I'm choosing this, and it's because I see this as the path, all right? I'm going to go over a little bit on time here because I want to explain this. I want to express this. I'm not explaining myself. I'm expressing this, because there's a huge difference, you guys. There's a huge difference. Doesn't matter if anybody understands what I'm saying. I'm expressing myself regardless, all right? And hopefully other people can, take inspiration from that expression. We can change the world. One person can change the world. But especially when two or more are gathered, woo! Woo! Wow. And getting out of these systems and its requirements will allow us to have a greater connection with God. All right, this is my whole premise. When I am not looking at the system, I'm saying, "Oh, my money comes from my job." All right, my welfare comes from the government. My um, health comes from my doctor. All right, when we stop relying upon these external things and we turn to the source, all right? Some people call it God. Some people call it the source, all right? Some people refer to it as the universe, all right? All of these are just labels for something which cannot be named, all right? On my channel, I often call it the one absolute because I like to make that statement, the true statement. There's only one absolute, and there it is, all right? There's only one absolute. If you think that there's another absolute other than the one absolute, you got another thing coming, you guys. You're just gonna have to experience the perceptual bias of what it means to have more than one absolute. That is a self at war. All right? Because in this case, in the one absolute, there is only the self. All right? And this is not about the selfish, humanistic self. All right? This is the consciousness. This is the conscious, and it even goes beyond consciousness. All right? There's layers to consciousness, subconscious, unconscious. All right? There's layers to this. All right? This is what's so beautiful about this, but and it's more. I was going to say it's the observer, but it's even more than the observer. All right, we can recognize those things. This is why I like that term, that phrase. There's only one absolute, and there it is, because it explains everything in a very concise way. All right, and it's still vague enough, right? That if you don't want to understand it, you don't have to understand it. I'm not forcing understanding upon people because that's what I've noticed. Some people do not want to understand. I would say they're not ready. Is kind of how it is. Maybe they'll never be ready. All right. That's not my path. All right. Not my monkeys, not my circus. All I know is my path. And I know where I'm going. I know where I'm headed toward. I want to do what I can to help other people. And I believe that I can. And if, God willing, I'll find other people to walk with. All right. Hopefully a romantic partner, but even then, more community. Super important for me, you guys. But we got to have this understanding. We got to have at least the minimal understanding of this. All right. And if I have to be the one to start it off, to kickstart it, okay. But then, please just, join me in this way. I don't want to be this leader. Like I said in the very beginning of this, I'm just this normal dude, all right? I don't want to be this leader. I don't want to be this individual who has to step up and then be this shining example, all right? That's what's the convoluted part. I will be, all right? It's like janitor work. Nobody else is cleaning up. I'll clean up, all right? And that's how I see leadership, you guys. Leadership is something where it's just like, man, as soon as I don't have to be a leader, thank God. Thank God. Because people don't understand what true leadership is, you guys. It's responsibility. That's what it is. It's responsibility in different ways, too. Because this is the premise that I want to put here. Because I got to let go of what other people project onto me, even if they said, Keith, you're the king, you're the ruler and everything. What would I teach? What would I do with that leadership? I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm not denying leadership. I'll guide us as best as possible. All right. But the premise is that anything that I have, any power that I have, we all have this power. We all have this capability. All right. All of us. If anything, I want to be like a collective, all right? Maybe like the Borg, but not quite like the Borg, if you understand my meaning there. Where it's just like we're a hive mind of individuals, all right? And that's a good thing, All right. We all respect one another. We all love one each other, and we all give each other space. All right. That's what I'm looking for. No more hierarchies. All right. The hierarchy is done. The pyramid is done. All right. There's the symbol I like where I call it a proto-circle, but it's just the two triangles coming together. All right. I'll explain it in another video. I don't want to get into it now. All right, it's been a long one. It's been a long one, you guys. Thanks for catching up with me. This has been more about, I guess, me just ranting and raving, but in a good way, you guys, in a good way. Getting it out there, expressing myself, because this is stuff I bottled up for a while, you guys, and I'm just going to start putting it out there more and more. I had to take a little bit of a hiatus to get right with myself, to make sure that I was on the right path here. Because there's been a huge pull, you guys, for me to get back in the system. And I don't want to say a pull, more of a push. Because I'm pulled to keep expressing myself in this way. I'm just trying to find the words for it. There's been a push for me to fall back in line. Oh yes, triangle. I can't help it, you guys. Just too many stories. Just like I was thinking of Bill Cipher, the triangle from Gravity Falls. But even then, you guys, all of that, it's madness, you guys. The Liches, everything. I'm just tying it all together here. All right, just trying to get. I'm not trying to get anything. All right, I get it already. I'm just expressing myself here. So hopefully you like my expressions. We'll kind of keep it at that 36, right? So love you guys. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for supporting me in whatever ways you can. I appreciate it. I won't even say that, plug the YouTube stuff, whatever, you guys, whatever. Do what you're gonna do. All right, you're your own person. If you're gonna like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. If you're gonna subscribe, subscribe. I don't care. None of that matters. All right. What matters is like you're what matters. All right. That's all that I'm trying to get across. And if I'm standing on any platform, if I'm standing on anything, it's to come across and say that to you, that you matter. Okay. If you stuck around this long, 37 minutes, right, for me to get to this point, all right, this is no ego trip for me. All right. This is a responsibility. I'm doing everything I can to take care of myself because you deserve to take care of yourself. Okay. That's just what I want to come across as. So, like I say a lot and maybe go on sometimes, but I mean it right now. Let's leave it at that. Just thanks for being here, you guys. And I see you. I see you. And thanks for being part of me. All right. As I'm part of you. Right? Peace out. Love within. And catch you on the flip side.